Hello everyone, my name is Ray. Welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could put together a small lathe in your shop from the stuff you already have in it? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I have to make 2 tool handles, and the only lathe I have is Big Blue back there, and it's only a faceplate lathe. I don't have tailstock, so I can't turn any small handles. So we're going to be putting together from the stuff that I find in the shop. Let's get to it. Okay, it looks like I've got just about everything we need here. So let's look at it. We need bearings for a headstock. Let's start with that. Here we go. I've got 2 half-inch pillow block bearings. I actually have 4. I think I've had these for about 20 years. I got them a long time ago in a box of stuff, and they've been sitting around for a while. So I've got headstock bearings. We need a spindle. I've got 2 choices. Came across this. This is a shelving bracket. You screw these in to a piece of wood, and you have 2 or 3 of them. Put them in, and you hang a shelf from it. And I like this at first when I found it because it already has a threaded hole that we can use to our advantage. But it's too small. Goes right through our bearing. Too small, too sloppy. So it's about 25 thousandths too small. So that's not going to work. I have a nice threaded bolt that we could have used for the headstock. That's even smaller. That's not going to work either. I also have, which I thought would be a good idea, a part of an old bicycle rim, hub. This is a hub for a bicycle wheel. And I've got the bearings. I'm not sure. I have it all in a bag, so I took it apart from something and then never did anything with it. So I like the idea for a headstock, but it's just too small. I can't get it far enough apart. And then you don't have anything left over for a spindle. So what I did find is a piece of bar that came out of something. And I don't remember when or what it was. And it's pretty straight. And it's threaded. And here is the interesting thing about that. Whatever this was for, and it's been so long I don't remember, I have a bolt. That bolt threads in there very nicely. Turns out that this is 3/8 24. I found a couple of chucks from old drills that the drills went up, and I saved the chucks. I got the chucks. I got the keys. I wanted to use the big chuck, but I'm not going to be able to. There's no way for me to attach this chuck. However, this little guy, and for what I want, I think this is going to work just fine. This is a drill chuck. Check this out. It's the same thread as this. So all I got to do is cut. I just got to cut the screw off, and they will thread together. The problem with this spindle, it's about 3 thousandths too big. It won't go in my bearing. So the good news is I can just polish that down. Polish that down, should be no problem to get it in there. The next thing, we'll need a switch. It turns out I have 4 switches in this shop. It's a good thing because I didn't know I had these. And then I found this one. It's rated to 1.5 horses. 110 or 220. It's a 2-throw. Don't need that. Just need one side. But I got a switch already planned. The motor is my buffing motor. The only thing I had in here, I had a bunch of motors that I ended up selling them 2 years ago. But I got one left. I got this one. It's 1 horsepower. Unfortunately, it's a 3450 RPM. So I'm going to have to rig up some pulleys to shrink it down. Pulleys, you say? Over the years, I have collected some pulleys. See right there? So all I gotta find is a pulley that will fit my shaft. Huh. I think right from the get-go. Right there. That one is, it's a 5/8 pulley, but it's got a 1/2 inch spacer in it. Probably won't fit my shaft because my shaft is a little bit on the big side. I'll have to polish it. Oh, wait. It will fit my shaft. So, just got to polish it a little bit, it'll fit better. So I'm going to need a reduction, so I got to have a big one on my shaft. Okay, well, it looks like I had a 3-step pulley in this box. Didn't realize I had that in there. Which is 5/8 arbor. That'll fit right on my motor. It's not keyed. I don't particularly like that, but I think that'll work. The smallest one's going to be about 800. The largest one's going to be about 1750. This is going to work out pretty good. So, got my 2 pulleys, got my shaft, got my bearings. The next thing is the tailstock. I figured I can use this as a tailstock. I put it back together, but I have one from the shelf from one of the wheels we make. Basically, these are the same things. This is like a one that will come with a wheel. This is one that we make, well, that I manufacture in the shop. But basically the same thing. I think I'll just use this one because it's going to be easier for me to use. But this one would have worked just as well. I would have had to cut one flange off. This one's already single flange, so I'll have to make a nice hole that it presses in and put some screws and tie it in place. This looks like just wide enough for a 2x4. Sure enough, there you go. That's perfect for a 2x4. So I'll make a hole, put it in there, put some screws in. Instant live center tailstock. I'm going to clean this mess up, and then we'll get started. Alright, some unusual turn of events here. So if you recall, I was going to cut this bolt because I happen to have a shaft that fits that same thread as this chuck, so just need a piece. Thread rod would have been fine. I was going to use this little small chuck because I thought I didn't have a choice. Well, I took the polishing arbors off my motor. You can see the motor there, missing the arbors now. And I took the polishing arbors off. Here's one, and here's the other. These arbors are threaded half inch 20. And the small arbor here, the small chuck, is 3/8 24. Guess what? The chuck is also half 20, and I can put the arbor right on there, and this will fit my shaft. You couldn't ask for having more stuff around like this. It didn't even occur to me that this might be the same thread, and sure enough it is. So now I have, for a lathe built from just scraps, I've got 2 chuck options. Now I've got options. I wasn't expecting anything, and now we've got some choices here. Now I don't know how good that's going to be because I don't know how straight these arbors are. It's been beaten up a little bit, so it may not be perfectly straight. I'll make it shorter, but there you go. I mean, this one's a little bit bigger. Looks like 3/4, and is that 3/4? Looks like 5/8 and 1/2 inch. Polishing arbors. You can get these anywhere. Any Home Depot hardware store. I bought these years ago. I've been sitting on this motor for who knows how long, and now my options have opened up. So I was going to build a lathe with nothing, and now I'm going to have 2 chucks on it. That's freaking awesome. Alright, well, let's get back to the time lapse. Let me show you what I did here. Because my bearings and shaft, because they're not the right size, I need to, you see they won't fit. I need to polish this shaft down just a little bit. I mean, it's just a few thousandths. I could have done it by hand, but you know what? I had Big Blue, so I might as well use her. The only thing I had to do is I had to take the jaws off. these are the lower jaws. The upper jaws are the ones that you change. The upper jaws would not allow me to pinch down this far, and you can see that is about as far down as I could go. I couldn't really chuck up on anything smaller than this, and so I got lucky with that. That I actually could chuck that. So you know, you use what you have, and I just happen to have Big Blue, so that's what I'm going to use. But I could have polished this by hand if I really wanted to spend some time on it. But this will only take a few minutes, and you'll see that in a time lapse. All right, here we go. All right, so polishing is complete on the shaft. I went ahead and cut it off. It will just start in the bearings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these in the freezer, throw the shaft in the freezer. See, it will just start. I'm going to throw the shaft in the freezer, cool it down. It'll shrink it a little bit, and they should fit right in. We'll have a nice fit, and we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, well, we got pretty far in about an hour and a half. Got the beginnings of a headstock. I'll show you. Headstock bearings, pulleys on there, nice. And the chuck's on there. And you can see I went ahead and cut the head of the screw off. Fits right in there. It's actually quite nice. Let's take a closer look at this mounted on top of the wood. Here we have the headstock. I just put it on a couple of blocks of wood so you guys could see how it looks and how it works. And as a matter of fact, this just gave me the idea of how I'm going to be mounting this. So you have the pulley and the bearings you saw earlier, and watch this chuck. I'm impressed at how true it is. I was not expecting to come up with something that'll be running this nicely from just the stuff I had lying around here. I probably should have done this earlier. I'm going to call that the end of part 1 for the how to make a lathe with the scraps in your shop. And please stay tuned for part 2. As always, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I do read them and I do respond. If you saw something that I didn't see, a possibility of something else, please do say something and I will address it, and maybe it'll be a good topic for a future video. Thank you again, and please don't forget to subscribe.